get this party started since we're so excited to have Julianne Condia on the call today. So let me just introduce her quickly, and then literally this is your opportunity. I'll start off with a question and you guys chime in. Like, this is your opportunity just to ask one of my dear favorite coaches so many great questions. And obviously I talked her up, when I was advertising her, but literally this woman is the best at systems, about having a clear vision, about running after a goal. Julianne is absolutely incredible. So before we get started, she is a 7-star diamond coach. She's a 2-time elite coach. She has been working in the business for 4 years. She's married to Eric. She's a dog mom. She has lost 35 pounds with Beachbody. She is now a full-time coach. She was an inner city school teacher. Did I say that correctly?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And that's Julianne in a nutshell. But Julianne, will you please tell us a tiny bit more about yourself, please?
Yeah, here's a fun fact, and everyone gets so shocked, like, there's a problem with you. So this is going to be my fun fact that I share with you. My husband noticed that my birthday is wrong on my driver's license. It's off by 3 days, and he's like, you need to go get that fixed. And I'm like, have you been to the California DMV? It is the worst. So it's been like that for 2 years, and no one has noticed except for my rock climbing check-in. Only guy who's noticed in the last 2 years of all of my traveling around everywhere. I used to be a teacher. I taught 8th grade. I call myself couch to coach. I hated fitness, pretty much the perfect ideal person to coach. And I heard my sponsor at the time on a Zoom, and I was on the couch, and I just think it's funny. And so I heard it. It was empowering. Something moved inside me. I don't even know. I just signed up. I called her, said she's not even doing it anymore. And I just decided to do it. I didn't know what Beachbody was. I thought you get fit on a beach. I'm not kidding. But there was just something about the community. And that's what I'm going to talk to you a little bit about today with a mind shift. Since being a teacher, my favorite thing to do in this business is teach. I love to mentor. I love to help. So my philosophy is this: if you can help 2 coaches get started right, that can turn into 60 coaches. So sometimes when we're looking, we have this pressure of, I got to recruit, I have to recruit. And then you feel like you're falling short. When people are like, oh, it's not a good month and I'm at SC40, and you're kind of like, dude, just trying to get SC6, right? No, I'm just joking, but you know what I'm saying. But I want to teach you this depth, duplication. And for me, I'm proud that our team is a 7. I keep telling Brittany, I'm like, okay, we're in 7-star qual. We're going to be in 10 soon. Like, I just keep telling it to her and speaking it because I believe that it's going to happen, and we're really close to it. But I think what I'm most proud about on our team, Team Happy and Fit, is the amount of duplication of success. That it's not just me, that we had someone in our team last year hit elite with me. And that was better than anything. Like, just knowing that someone on our team hit elite was so cool. Knowing we have multiple star diamonds on our team. We're a baby team. We're littler. I'm on an inside weak leg. I've built my team by myself. And now it's thriving and doing awesome, but it's littler compared to probably 2 other 2-time elite teams. But I really believe when you can go deep with people, it creates such momentum. And when you have that vision. So for me, I am not a mass recruiter, insane success club, but what's cool is that our volume and the amount of success that our coaches they're having is the best. And so I want to bring that light onto things. And that's what I'm really passionate about, is that I believe I have a coach, Morgan Schaefer. She's a new diamond coach as of pretty much Summit, almost a 1-star. And it just shows, like, if you can just go deep with people and lead them the right way, there can be amazing things to happen. So for me, being 7-star, my husband would make us 8. We lost his diamond, but we'll get it back. I know it. It's all of the people who started with me, besides some of my new coaches. But when we got to elite our first year, those people are still here. And that's what I want. That's what I want in the future, is for my friends to stay in this because it's changing their lives. And I always tell them that their vision and mission is my burden. That I will continue to work so hard and grow and mentor to the best of my abilities, knowing that I'm gonna be successful no matter what, where my mindset is, right? I'm gonna get it done, but y'all gotta be with me because this is so good. And so I always tell them that. But I want to talk to you about community and a mind shift with what you can do with your team that I believe will create this culture of success. So like I said, and you can interrupt me, ask any questions, but it might be something you're doing, but sometimes it just takes tweaking a few things to make it work. So for me, I was thinking about this. Okay, community is why I joined. Community and my team is everything. With challenge groups, what if we turn them into community groups? That even your coaches could create a community group that has coaches and their challenges in it, or challengers in it, without creating team pages and all those things. And they create this community, because I, at the end of the day, am always inviting to a community. There's no start, there's no end. It's just a lifestyle. So the more I thought about it, the more I really liked this idea and pitched it to my group of leaders, and then pitched it to our team. That what if you created an online virtual wellness studio? That the name of your studio is almost like the name of your team, something that you are so proud of, something that you represent, and it doesn't change names. It doesn't change anything, but you're constantly inviting to this community, whether they're a coach or whether they're a challenger, and it's forever. It's for however long people want to work on themselves, right? And if you're working on yourself daily and showing up for yourself daily, that gives these people who are joining you some hope. So how I want to talk to you about this is explain what I've done that I'm feeling so passionate about, that you guys at Summit, the Beachbody Challenge, I walked away from that going, one, we're going to be a 15-star team next year on that stage, because that represents growth and duplication, and that represents success to me for a team. Two is I need someone to be on our team on the Beachbody Challenge. They need to be a part of it in some way. I walked away from that just like, this is why we do what we do. And that's how I lead my groups. I hated challenge groups. I hated them. I joined as a coach. I didn't join in a challenge group. So for me, it was a lot easier to invite to the coaching community than it was to a challenge group. Then once I started thinking about this, the more I started realizing I just want to invite to a community. So mine is called the Struggle Detox Collaborative. We detox from struggles. We detox from excuses. We detox from negativity. We detox weight. We detox mindsets that are not serving us. We detox all this stuff. So how my Struggle Detox Collaborative works is that it is an ongoing group. You can do this in the Challenge Tracker app. You can do this on Facebook. You can do it on Instagram. You can do it anywhere. And for me, it's a year-long thing. There's no start and stop. And that's what I was finding, is that I was having coaches inviting. They were inviting. And then as soon as their group started, what did they do? They stopped inviting. They stopped because their group had already started and they weren't planning for the future and didn't know what their next group was. They were a little bit overwhelmed, right? What if you invited to the Detox Struggle Collaborative as an ongoing thing? You're just inviting to a community. You're inviting to an experience. So for me, this is exactly what I do. It's ongoing. There's no start and stop. However, once a month for 2 weeks, usually in the beginning of the month, just like a challenge group, if you were to do one for 14 days, I have a theme. And the theme right now is the happiness advantage. My content is the happiness advantage because I just read it. It's so good. Everyone's loving Sean Anker and his humor, very dry and really critical thinking, right? So for 2 weeks, there's a morning post with the happiness advantage, almost like a book club, except for you don't have to have the book. I basically summarize it, give him all the credit, and then ask them a question at the end. They check in because I want them to grow in their mindsets and their hearts, not just physically, right? And then you can do a check-in post at the end of the day. So I do that for 2 weeks. What I wanted my community to look like is what my team page looks like. My team page is ran by everyone else if I'm not in there all the time. And that's what you want. You want coaches going to your team, asking questions. You want them going in and dropping some shout outs. You want them going in there and sharing inspiring things, best practices, all these things. I don't want the group to be ran by just me. I want it to be ran by everybody. Everybody has a voice in there. So for my ongoing group, that's what I want it to be. I don't want it to be that I have to comment back on everyone's thing. I want everyone else to comment back on everyone's posts. I want it to be ran by the group and not just me. Not out of laziness. I show up in there every single day. I share my journey. I share my struggles. I share whatever it is that I want to share for that day. But I want it to be a space that everyone feels like it's their community, not Julianne's. So the 2 weeks after the content of a theme, it's just ran on its own. People are just checking in. People are just dropping inspiration. People are going live. People are doing stuff in there, which is so cool. And I get to show them so much love, but they're building friendship. They're building community. And it's I think, a perfect way for coaches to connect to a community and start their own, to be proud of a brand that they created, that they don't feel so much pressure that there has to be a start date, end date. And I think the reason this can work so well is because people have access to their workouts right away. I think the reason we had challenge groups like they were before is because you had to give them a week to get their stuff, right? So this is how that works for us. Something that I do, and I would love to take questions, something I do that I'm really proud of about our Struggle Detox Collaborative is that I send out a weekly email on Sundays to all my challengers. Because not everybody checks in, not everybody posts a selfie in there, but I want them to know, hey, I'm here. Here's my phone number. Hey, I believe in you. Do you have to reset for this week? And I don't feel like anyone falls off the grid. So every single Sunday, I send them a really simple email. I send them a picture from my week, usually with my family or my dog or my husband, and I share a story. Then I share something that I learned in personal development and how it applies to my life. Then thirdly, what I put in there is either 3 questions I want them to email me back with, or I say, hey, can you go share the answers to these 3 questions in our Struggle Detox right away to get participation, right? And then I say, what do you want to work on for this week? What was a struggle for you? Here's my number. Please text me if you have any questions. So it's really awesome to be texting challengers and coaches and whoever is in that Struggle Detox Collaborative. I got a text the other day. She said, Julianne, I have to tell you, I did my half marathon in less time than I had a goal for. And the fact that she would text me that over anyone else right away as soon as she was done just seriously made my entire day. So I really look forward to that email. Another thing that I do, I haven't been doing this summer because of travel, is we do a weekly Zoom for 30 minutes. And this weekly Zoom could be, what are 3 things you're grateful for? And then let's text one person that matters to us that we haven't talked to in a while and tell them that we love them. It could be as simple as that. It could be, hey, what was the challenge this week and how can I serve you today? And with these Zooms, it's a way for people to connect. But what's really cool about these Zooms is that I say, you know, I love this. I love that we can connect like this. My team, Team Happy and Fit, we do this every day. And in fact, we have a team call right after this. You guys can hop on if you want. And I show them that we're doing the exact same thing, but that our team is like a whole nother level of cool. And this is cool, but man, like it gets so awesome. Prep week. So when you have an ongoing group, you're like, Julianne, people are going in at different times, how do I set them up for success? So what I do is I use Google Streak. I'm a big on systems. I wash, rinse, repeat. I want to be efficient. I want to help people though. I don't want to sign them. I believe so like fully with my heart that our job starts when someone buys something from us. I believe that. I believe our job starts as a mentor when someone joins our team. And so what I do is I have Google Streak, and as soon as someone buys a challenge pack, I send them a getting started right email if they joined as a coach or just joined as a challenger. I have 2 separate emails. So for my challenger email, and I can share it with Britt, and she can give it to all of you, it's really simple. It's just, I'm so excited for you. You took a leap. You are so brave. You are so wonderful. And then I say, I need you to send me your measurements, and I send them a video on how to take their measurements. I need you to send me before pictures. You're going to hate this. Make sure you smile in them. A lot of people don't smile in their before pictures because they're so mad. Smile in them. You're going to be so glad you had these. And then when your challenge pack kit arrives, text me that it arrived. So I give them my phone number right there. And I say, I'm going to add you to our community. I'm going to make a welcome post for you. And your job is to participate in there to get maximum results. The amount of before pictures I get, the reason I did this is because I was getting so frustrated that my coaches were having success physically, but my challengers weren't. I was so fixated on mentoring, so fixated on helping my team that anyone who joined as a challenger, I had a group and it was good. I showed up in there every day, but I was not proud of the fact that I couldn't share all these results that people usually can share. And so I was like, I need to hold them accountable for taking their measurements and sending their before pictures. And when they do that, they're going to commit. And then and it's also because, do you guys notice with at Summit, they announced the coaches how many challengers they had submit to the Beachbody Challenge. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I think I might have won. Like, this is not okay. And so that really motivated me to get more people submitted into the Beachbody Challenge. And now it's a number 1 goal for me. That would be hitting elite for me. If I could get someone to win that freaking Beachbody Challenge, I would die. I would be so happy. So I do a getting started right email as soon as they join, and then you can share recipes there and how I talk about how you use Beachbody on demand, and break through all of that. So for me, I thought about it like this. If my students came walking into the classroom and I was just like, okay, let's just get started, and they don't have direction, they're not going to have success. But my classroom was awesome. I was really strict, and it was a really disciplined place, but really fun. And we had the highest test scores in the entire school. I was not the smartest teacher, I can promise you that, but I was the teacher who believed in every student's abilities, regardless if they were academically smarter or not. I believed that they could learn in their own way, and so I would believe in them in their own way, if that makes sense. So with my challengers and with my coaches, that's exactly how I feel. But in order to get the success that you want, you have to make sure you write down what it is that they need to do in order to do it. So since launching this and presenting it to my team, all of my coaches have stood behind it, got super excited about naming their community, and then it takes that pressure off of having a business-driven team page, that it's a thriving community page that's getting results for people. But what I'm noticing is the amount of duplication that's happening on our team, that they are recruiting, that they are hitting Success Club, that they're massively proud of the work that they're doing because it's their own baby. So they've named it whatever it is that they want. I'm trying to think of some names that we have, one where it's like the confidence zone. You have all these specified communities that they invite to. So what's cool about that is, for me, I can invite based on my theme, where it can create urgency. But then as soon as my theme starts, I can continue to invite to this community. So it doesn't end. The inviting just keeps on going, and it's creating that vision for the team, if that makes sense. I would love to answer some questions.
So, and I love this. I love this. I just sent her a message. I'm like, I didn't realize you were bringing a topic, but dang, this is really, really, really good. So I'm so glad you started with this.
Oh, good.
And I would love for them just to start. I mean, you can obviously ask about this, but I also want to remind all of you who are on here is, Julianne has been a coach for 4 years. And there was a period of time where it was struggle. Like, I remember you were kind of just trying to figure out the rhythm of it. But there's one thing that Julianne did, and she always mapped out how she's getting to 10 star. And she would send me where she's at, or, and she'd always just that communication and that talking of where you're going. And obviously it has shown because now you're a new 7-star diamond. So I just want to kind of lay the foundation with that. But ladies, unmute yourself. Ask Julianne questions. I know you all have great goals, Q3, Q4, what you're working towards, and would love to get those answered from her.
Yeah, even if it's elite-based, whatever, I would love to help.
So I have a question about the emails. I love that. So that would be awesome if you can share that. So did you say that you do that once a week? You send them emails?
I do. So I'm a big tracker of email. I do not track how many conversations I start, but as soon as I get someone's email because they're interested, I track that. So in my streak, I put the email in. And then what's cool is if someone hasn't joined me, I send them an email once a month for a follow-up. Hey, I have this new group coming up. This is, what it is. If it's time now, let me know. And since doing that this month, I think from that email list, I had 3 people join just based off of that, not all the new people that funneled in. And then so I have that on streak, and then I have challengers on streak. And so I send them an email once a month, once a week. If, like, for example, when beach bars came out, I sent out an email 2 times that week because I just want you guys to know about this. I'm really excited. And then had people purchase that through that. But what I've found through email is it feels more professional and it feels more specific to them. But I think my favorite thing with that is if they get off track, they still get an email from me once a week. So what I have found is that a lot of people who've gotten off track get back in it. And I think it's because I have a way of keeping up with them because it's so hard to remember everybody and try to send them a message. And if they don't respond back, more than likely you're not going to follow up with them a 3rd time. So with email, they get an email from me once a week, regardless if they're active in our group or not.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm a dog mom. I get it. Great question.
Thank you. This has been awesome. I have a question about how to organize your time. So can you talk about just kind of how you walk through your day or your week and just give us a kind of an outline?
Yeah. Shannon, what do you feel like you're struggling most with your time? Are you a mom? What is your day? Just like, are you doing this full time? What does that look like?
Sure. Yeah. I'm a mom. I have 3 little kids. My youngest is 2.5. And so they're mostly with me all during the day, especially during the summer. So I mean, my day is I wake up early, usually like 5:30, get my workout, do my me time, and then get some messages out. Then I spend time with my kids. I focus on them in the morning. So they're first thing. And then we have quiet time in the afternoon, and I have a babysitter come over and they'll do things with the babysitter. And then at night I'll get some things done as well. But that's kind of
sweet. So this is what all of you need to do is you need to write down for the next 6 months. What is your plan? Because I think this is what tends to happen is we're winging it. So for the next 6 months, what is your 6-month plan with personal development? So you don't have to guess. For me, I have 6 books written down on my 6-month plan. So if I finish a book early, I can add another book on there. Even when it comes to podcasts, having that plan of, and you can, it's starting easy. I would make a 6-month plan and then plan it out on Sundays for the week. Okay, on Monday, I'm listening to this, reading this, whatever. And then you can schedule it in Google Calendar or set a timer on your phone. For me, I work best in in that system. So another 6-month plan is, what does your recruitment look like in Success Club? And then you plan backwards. So if your Success Club goal is Success Club 20, what does that look like? I would say the average, 1 in 20 says yes. So if your goal is Success Club 20, that's at least 20 invites a day, right? Or whatever. You have to figure out that for what your goal is. And then and with recruitment as well, are you wanting to recruit 10 coaches, 5 coaches, 15, whatever? But I think the best way to organize your time is knowing what you're shooting for, right? So for me, I'm going for 10 star this year and then 15 by summit. I have to speak it out. What's your 6-month plan when it comes to your challenge groups? And you all might switch to community groups, but for the next 6 months, actually mapping out what that looks like and how you're going to talk about it. And then what is your 6-month plan with your own fitness and your journey, and then maybe mentoring. What does that look like? So for me, what I tend to do if I'm getting off track is I'm working and I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to schedule that post. And then I move to that and then go back to my task. So maybe on Mondays, you're scheduling in, okay, I'm doing clearing all of my inbox on every other day. And then on Mondays, I'm doing I guess it would be maybe on Thursdays, I'm doing all my shout outs for my team and spending 20 minutes or 30 minutes doing shout outs on that day. So for me, what I do is my mentor, Trina Gray, was like, you can't just work from a list. That's not working with a schedule. And so for me, when I was making lists, I would get it all done, but my time wasn't being used efficiently. So for me, what I do is I actually schedule out the time on my planner a week ahead of time on the times I'm going to be doing things. And I also work from a tracker. It's a really simple tracker, and it's invites, and then it goes to who did you mentor, what are you going to post on your team page, challenge groups, and then expanding your network. And then obviously my personal development and product to the product happens before all of this. I work better when I take care of myself first. And then I work through a tracker, because I think sometimes we think we're getting it done and we're not, and it's good awareness. I try to do the things I don't want to do first, which is the unsexy stuff, like the inviting and the non-graphics and, just being in your inbox. The more time you spend in your inbox, the more your business is going to grow. And that's a gut check I have to have with myself as well.
Awesome. Thanks for the tips.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mean to unmute myself. So if somebody has a question, go ahead.
Can I go? I'm on my phone, so I can't see everybody, but is that okay?
Yes, it's perfect. Yes. Go ahead, honey.
Okay. Sorry, I'm literally at the river with my kids right now, so if you hear them in the background, they're all good. But thank you so much. First off, I love your idea of the community group. I've really been struggling with doing new groups all the time. I feel like you just start to get the community, and then the group ends, and then it's like you lose. I don't know. This is crazy. So I love that idea. And I have a couple questions. First off, with your brand new coaches, do you encourage them to start their own community right away? Or do you put them into yours? Or if they're challengers to coaches, they're already in there. And then second, do you ever hear from people that they don't like the bigger groups? Because sometimes I hear that if I do like some of my 80-day obsession groups got really big because I continued to add people in, and some people didn't like having that much, like they liked the smaller groups. And so I would just love to hear your feedback on those two things.
Yeah. So for me, I create a culture of whatever I love is going to go. Like there's no space for someone criticizing what the group is and what I set the foundation for this is what it is. And I'm assuming those are repeat challengers because they know the difference. And so for me, I just feel like I've created this culture of explain why that this is going to work the way that it is and why they're going to love it. But I would say you have to get behind your groups in order to do that. Like if you're not fully loving them, that's why they're not fully loving them. So for you, what I would really encourage you to do is map up what would be your ideal community space and what does it look like. People are thriving without being handheld, that people are thriving in their journey and feeling so encouraged by it. I love reading through, ladies, I started to body bash myself today, and then I stopped and realized that's crap. I don't want to do that. And I love being a part of this group because it reminded me of that. And she shared that. And I was like, dang, why did she share that? Because I've shared that before. We've created this space that you can talk like that. Okay. So what I would do is you can create the culture. And so maybe it's not necessarily starting it all over, but it's creating this foundation of this is how it is. I just even think in Team Happy and Fit, we don't have negativity. And I'm like, why is that? Is because as soon as someone was negative in the very beginning, no one is now. And I nipped it. That is not what the space is for. And so for them, I'm assuming they're feeling insecure. They're finding women relationships as a threat. Something in their past, a group of women made them feel less than. They're comparing themselves to all these other people who are crushing it. How can you create this awareness of, one, that person can be inspiring versus you comparing and feeling less than, but how can you create that culture of we're celebrating each other? So I'm identifying 3 things that those women who are saying that as, if that makes sense, they're feeling insecure, threatened by women, and comparing. And so what can you cultivate in your group in order to do that? And I just can't remember the last, do I let my coaches in, my new coaches in? Yes. What is cool is that I have found ownership with my coaches. I said, I will take care of it. I'll take care of the post, and I give them the emails, and I tailor it for them. I say, make it sound like you, but let me write this for you, the emails that they send. And I said, I will do, Trina says, she's so awesome. 6-time elite, like incredible mentor, you guys. Like if you guys have not followed Trina Gray, she just knows what to do. And she goes deep with people. She's the one who's taught me, Julianne, one coach turns into 30. Like, keep your eyes on that. And I said, okay. And that's always how I've led in this. But she's just taught me how to do this. So, sorry, I lost my train of thought and I'm trying to get it back. But
you're doing awesome.
Coaches, is that they have found ownership sooner than from before with this community group thing. It's almost like they're excited to start this. Another thing with coaching, you guys, is I do not talk about the discount. The discount is an automatic. And maybe you know that, but your new coaches are only recruiting discount coaches, right? So maybe you have this awareness of it, but sometimes it takes reflection in order to realize, how can I mentor my team? I'm all about how can I mentor? How can I teach? So I'm not necessarily telling all of this to you. I'm telling you this to you so you can go tell your team, right? When that awareness happens to me, I'm like, how can I go reteach this? So for your coaches, you have to be like, this is how I went Emerald. I took a binder to someone's house that had all the coaching material in it. I cannot even believe she said yes. Sat next to her. We went through this huge binder and she signed up by the grace of God. And then I signed up my husband, who wasn't my husband at the time. And I'm so glad I did, because I didn't understand the money potential of signing him up right away. And now I do. And I tell that to my team. Sometimes you forget those little simple practices are everything your team needs to hear. And so, for example, like, I do think you need to sign up your husband, not because I'm selfish and want you to rank advance, but because I've seen what it's done for our family over time. Like, it's actually really smart. Like, I didn't understand that when I first started. So I don't recruit for the discount because it's an automatic. You join, and so I feel like I don't recruit discount ever. The people who join me are running right away. And why is that? Is because I speak of this community like it is everything. How do you get people to buy into your community? Is you have to buy into it yourself. It's transformed my life. These people are my family. And then when I have new coaches, my number one goal, get them connected to the community. Number one goal. If they get on a team call and they get in that page and start friend requesting, instant friends. Because my coaches know how to celebrate other people, uplift other people, become friends with other coaches they're not intimidated. They're not going to be intimidated by. Like, they genuinely love doing that. And so that's my number one goal when it comes to new coaches and helping them get their challenge pack covered. That's the verbiage I use. They sign up with me and I say, my number one goal as your mentor is to help you get your challenge pack covered. That's helping 3 people. And this is what I want to do with that. In the elite category, the one I don't want to say struggling, but the one where I'm like, ugh, is the new coaches with helping one person their first month. And it's because they always end up hitting Success Club, but I've had to like reshift, and it's good. It's a good shift. But I'm still figuring that out. Because this is what I find is like, after that, then they hit Success Club, and I'm like, why is that? So I'm trying to myself right now, being transparent with you. There's still shifts I'm making. I don't want to just talk a big game, if that makes sense. Like like Brittany said, like there's moments like I'm like, I need to figure this out, but I'm really proud of the coaches I sign up. I just, they do get started. But like, so for example, Brittany Burmeister is going to be a diamond coach this year. And it took her about 6 months to finally hit SC10 for the first time, hit SC10, and now is crushing it. And I'm like, why is that? She bought into the community. I don't know. So anyway, that's a side thought.
I have a question.
Yes.
So you talk about your community going live and stuff. So I'm assuming your community's in Facebook, you use Facebook groups. Do you use the Challenge Tracker app for anything? And how do you handle people that you pull off of Instagram who are anti-Facebook?
Yeah, so that's a really great question because I run most of my business on Instagram. So my friend Teresa, she has both. She does accountability, and my coach Kim, she does both. She does one on Facebook and then one on the Challenge Tracker app for those who just want to check in. For me, I haven't had that big of an issue. I did end up posting all of my content on Instagram and made a community there. But they've been doing okay with it. Like I haven't gotten, and I think it's my getting started right email of this is how it goes. But for the people who don't participate as much on Facebook, we're emailing back and forth. So if it is an Instagram person, it's more one-on-one, but they're observing and watching because they're not as motivated to do that. Here's a tip. If you want people to go live, that can be their introductions. So you introduce, and their number one goal that week is to go live by introducing themselves and reminding them that it's a private group. They can do that on the Tracker app too by recording a video. So that's what I do with that, if that makes sense. What was your other question?
And keep talking. I just have to go plug my computer in before we all
you're
get
good.
left behind with this because I'm about to die. But keep going. I love this.
There was another question. I'm trying to remember what it is. I feel like I'm all over the place.
You covered all of mine. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but no. I remembered it. You did have another question. Do I run anything in the Challenge Tracker app? Yes, a team training. A team training is in there that starts every new month, and we call it Rock the Business. And it's awesome, but I also put it in Facebook. So it's in two spaces, but with the Rock the Business, I run it with a group of leaders that are on our big umbrella team that I am helping with, but I also moved it to Facebook and did the Facebook pods or whatever those things were. And that is actually more used than the Challenge Tracker app. And the reason being is someone misses a day
question on the National Wake Up Call, but was there a turning point or like an event in your business where the business kind of turned around and you took off?
Yes. So I was an Emerald coach for a year and a half, or actually just a little bit over a year. And I signed up spoke. I don't remember what she said, but I remember how she made me feel. And I remember sitting there in the seats and I just went, it actually hit me that I could do something with this. And I had been, but not anything like what I thought. And then 6 months later, I quit my job. I was a diamond coach and went from diamond to 5-star elite that next year. And so I think it was just the belief in how someone made me feel. And that's how I try to lead always, is when someone is jumping on my team call, how can I make them feel a certain way? And then I did that with teaching. And so that was the turning point for me. I never believe it's anything you need to know. I think it's about everything that you do. And y'all, I am so grateful. And I was just thinking about that is on Monday, a week ago, my family was going to New York. And I was like, why am I not going? I've been on the costume for 3 years. I've been doing this full time. I booked tickets that night and left 2 days later and went and met my family. I'm still with my family. I'm leaving to go to California, back home tomorrow. And I just sat here thinking how grateful that I am to be on this call with all of you while I'm with my family in a different state. So much freedom in that. And my husband calls and he's like, Julianne, I just went on this long bike ride. And the entire time I was thinking was how grateful that I am. We didn't mention this. How grateful that I am that I'm bike riding is he used to be a teacher and quit a year ago. And we've been doing this together. And it's just, so that was the pivotal moment for me, was getting to a live event and really believing. And Trina always said, this is the bridge to freedom. And I get what she means by that now. Is I have the freedom to be, I don't teach or mentor to do this full time, but I do mentor and teach to live a life that you crave and to know that you're made for more, whether you're doing this part-time or full-time. I think anyone can do this. And I just think that you have to constantly remind yourself why you're doing this and who are you doing it for. And because sometimes we can get so blinded by the pressure of thinking you need to be farther along than you are. And that is so toxic to this business and your work ethic. Like, it is so crazy to think that you're less than just because you simply might have a different business looking model, right? Where you have to bring this back in and be like, why am I doing this? Why do I love this? And why does this matter to me? And last year, I remember everyone pushing for elite. I knew I'd hit it, and it just kind of did the same thing as I went to leadership, and I was like, what was that, in November? And I was like, I'm gonna hit elite. And we did. We actually hit it. And I remember how many coaches were giving up on December 1st. And I said, this is gonna be every reason why I hit it. Or I'm gonna go until December 31st, and I'm gonna do everything in my power to do this. Like, we are gonna do this. And we did for the second time. And I just think about that. Belief is what moves this. Belief is what moves your business. And you have to be focused on the right things. I would rather go slower and do this the right way and feel so good about laying my head on my pillow every single night and being able to do the things that I want to do in the way that I want to do them and build a freaking amazing life with other people who are building amazing lives. I don't want to be the only successful person on my team.
That's the definition of true success, though, is when you make other people as successful or more successful than you. So I love
my coach last year outranked me. It was awesome. And everyone was like, Julianne, how do you feel? She went, I was 5-star still. And then she went 6-star, and people were like, well, how do you feel? I was like, well, what do you mean? Kim outranked you. I was like, no, okay, this is not how this works. Like, that I as long as I'm the only most successful person, then you guys can be successful. I was like, I feel the most successful because she did that. It was incredible. It was so awesome. But it was so interesting on people's mindsets on that.
For sure. Many couldn't say that. I will be honest with you. Many have a hard time with that. So it's cool that you.
It's so crazy. It's so good. It's so good. And now she left her administrative job with teaching that she was making 6 figures, and she retired from it this last month. And so she's doing coaching full time.
So cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We have time for 2 more questions. As far as, how about this? How do you get unstuck? So meaning, and I'm not referring to all of my 3 and my 4s because I love my 3s and 4s. And I say that because you're so hungry, you're so thirsty, you have big goals that you're running towards, right? But my question for you, Julianne, specifically, because you were a 5-star diamond coach for quite some time.
Yeah.
And it was pretty comfortable. So what did you do to kind of set that vision on moving forward and what you were working towards?
Yeah. There's a list that I need to share with all of you at some point, but that Trina taught me of how to get unstuck, because she's obviously gotten stuck being in this for 10 years.
They've heard that. Remember you, because I shared it.
Yeah. And so for me, I would say the number one way that I personally get unstuck is, one, I have to say, suck it up. Or we were just on a call earlier and I was feeling like, oh, I'm way behind. I've been on vacation. Like that comparison thing was so real, which is so nasty. No one makes us feel that way but ourselves, right? And it was such gold on this call. And so what I did, because I was starting to I'm behind, this, and this, I sat in this office and I crushed a 30-minute webinar. A 30-minute webinar on what is coaching. And I'm setting up a sneak peek. And there was a coach on there that said she does 70 invites a day. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, no, I'm just going to freaking do it. And so what I do to get unstuck is I just take massive action in the right areas. And I say, suck it up. I'm more of a tough love kind of girl, straightforward. I seem real nice and I am, but I'm a freaking straight shooter. People come to me, they know that. And I think that's important. I'm a red. That's my color. And I'm a circle also, but I think a little bit, I don't know which one. But anyway, getting unstuck, you just have to keep moving. It's so easy. So for me, yes, we were at 5-star for a year and a half, I think, or 2 years, I guess. And it was really hard from going from diamond to 5-star in 1 year. And then, but this last year, I had a coach go 2-star. I have 2 coaches that are about to be 1-star. We're having a lot of duplication, but we're really close to 10-star. And I never lost sight. And anytime I feel stuck, I also am transparent with the team and telling them what I'm doing about it. And I just constantly want to get better. And so it's really easy to hit something, and especially hitting elite, it can really, the day I found out we hit elite the first year, Britt knows this, is the day I found out I had a miscarriage. Talk about extremes. So that year, 2017, it was really hard. And that's why I'm like, we hit elite, that's a miracle. And then this year, I'm just just keep looking and celebrate your freaking wins, because I have a hard time doing that. I'm always just let's go, let's go, let's go. So as I'm going, I'm not forgetting to take a look at the view, celebrating your accomplishments. Women put their accomplishments down and they don't want to seem arrogant. And I think it's so important to realize, no, you guys are on this call for a reason, and you might dumb it down, and that's silly. Do you know how many people on my team that are not 3 and 4-star? This is huge. And I think for you to realize that is so big. And it's the same thing with 5-star where you're like, oh, I'm just 5-star. I can't keep going to Summit, feeling defeated. Because I remember one day I just wanted to be a diamond at Summit. You know what I'm saying? Also, I need to tell you this. Once you go 5-star, people don't talk about this a lot, is more than likely you're going to drop. And it's really defeating. Once you push and you get that momentum and then you drop, and then you might be 2 to 3, whatever. And you might be feeling that way right now. It's I feel like a fraud because I'm really just a 1-star. Don't just say just, you are, right? But you might have that fraud feeling. You're not. It's just normal. But we have held 5 to 7-star this entire year. It has created so much stability because we didn't quit and we just keep on going and we're figuring it out and becoming more stable and strong. And I think that's what I'm most proud of right now is this stability, but seeing the growth of so many people on our team. And so I think no one really talks about that because they're embarrassed by it and they feel like a fraud. And I just really encourage you to just don't allow that fraud syndrome to become a reality in your life. It's something that might happen, and then you just keep going, and you're going to be so proud when you do.
Oh, drop the mic right there. Nobody has ever addressed that. And I don't care what rank you're at. Like, okay, that was golden. Thank you, Julianne. Thank you for that
so
reminder.
true.
It is so,
Oh
so
my
true.
gosh.
For sure.
PD recommendations. Yes. Maybe Brittany has told you this. The Power of Positive Leadership. I think I've read 15 books this year. That has been my top favorite. So good. The Happiness Advantage has been really good. I really think you need to get How to Stop Feeling Like Shit. I just got this and I can't put it down. It's so good. The reason I like it, I was saying it earlier, is because with each chapter, if she's talking about people pleasing, she actually talks about 6 ways to work through that. Like she gives you, that's how I am, like tangible steps on how to be aware of it. And then reflection questions at the end. I'm trying to think of my other favorite books this year. I love Girl Wash Your Face and A Tribe Called Bliss and all those bubbly ones, but I also just really like PD such as these. The Happiness Advantage is really, really, really good and powerful. My favorite podcast is the MF CEO. MF, you know what that stands for. And just so you know, it's for dudes and I love it. And that's how I need to be talked to. Maybe not talked to, but like, it's like a Sean T, but like extra cuss words, you know what I mean? It is so good. That's a podcast that I've really been loving. And sorry that I can't think of my books right now. I will. I can give you guys a list. But I've read a lot this year. And I also went back to ones I started with. EntreLeadership. Like that book is so good. And so I reread that this year. I reread Brendon Burchard's book. I reread The Energy Bus. So I also reread and double dipped some books that Failing Forward, that's so good. The Slight Edge is so good. And it's books I read years ago. So Power of Positive Leadership though, for sure. How to Stop Feeling Like Shit. Yes. So good, you guys. I'm excited to hear how you like it. And The Happiness Advantage with Sean Anker. Really good. It really made me think about life a lot and just how much you looking into someone's eyes and smiling can change their brain. Like it's so cool. It is so powerful.
Okay, we have time for one more question. What's the golden question? Let me think. Ooh, I have a question. Yeah. How do you ride the waves of qualification? So say you're a 3 and a 4-star diamond, right? You're trying to get to 5. But kind of tell us what your strategy was when you moved to 7.
Yeah, I'll show you guys. I, first of all, think it's so important to talk to your team about it because if you don't, like they need to know. And I always say this, that if you're always in their corner for the right things, your people are going to always be in your corner too. And so for me, I'm always transparent with the team of what we're going for. And I just need them to know. I talk about why and what it represents because awareness is everything. And then as far as qualification goes, I don't know, you guys, it is qualification, the weirdest things happen. And so here's an example of actually my coach who's in 1-star qual. I'm going to share my screen real fast. Is right here. What we do is we do a countdown. And we talk about the weeks and we talk about what it means and what it matters. Everyone is aware of the goal. It is a team goal that we're all going for. So that's one that we've used. I'm trying to think. But that's a big thing for me. Even with Brittany, like I sent Brittany this. I was like, and I'm just really, all right, this is going to take massive belief, action, consistency, faith, courage, determination, our journey to becoming a superstar team. This is going to take major teamwork, all this stuff. So I also just share them in. Here we go. This is one that I walked through. We went from 6 to 7 in a matter of weeks together. So you saw me and you heard me. And I want to prove points to our team too, saying like, you saw me put this out there and you heard me. Like we did this together, but I need you guys to do that too. I expressed that if we should go for this goal and you all rallied. What if you did the same thing? You have to say it out loud. You have to write it out. You have to tell others. So that's just something that I share. I just share it. and I talk about it. I believe in what you say is what you attract. What you say is how you feel. And as far as qualification goes, we were 6-star qual in the beginning of the year and lost it. And I was not defeated. And I went to our team. I put them in pods too. We're in a 7-star pod right now with, you guys, they're my girls. And I say, hey, we're going for this. This is what's going to happen. This is what we need to do. They're like, okay. And we lost 6-star qual the first time in the beginning of the year. And I said, hey, is everyone breathing today? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, then good. We're good. This is okay. This is what creates armor. Like, this journey gives us more and more armor to not pay attention to the things that don't actually matter. We're going to get this back in the right time, and it's going to matter so much, but not as much as it matters to be doing this with all of you. Like, you guys are incredible, and I just expressed gratitude all the time. I also implemented this that I heard in a mastermind with Brittany, is Strong by Sunday. Every Friday, I don't like to look at the back office on Thursdays because there's a lot of red sometimes. And so I wait till Friday happens and then I look at it. Is on Friday, I say Strong by Sunday. Check it out. Like, who do you have that's inactive? What's your plan of attack? And what's been really cool about that, it's giving ownership to these leaders to, if they have someone projected inactive, to message them. More than likely, if someone is inactive or projected inactive, is they got off track. More than likely, that's what it is. But if you could just check in with them and see, but then also let them in on this goal. Do you know how many people were projected inactive? Well, I don't know if it was that. I feel like 7-star was like, okay, but that 5-star, man, it is like, let's go and do this. It's so hard. Is they were in. They're like, you know what? I want to try the bars, is what they say. And we give them options, right? So for qualification, in order to get into qualification, you need to speak it. You need to talk about it. You need to tell your team, like, I am rallying. I think for coaches who say they don't want to rank advance like this or that, I think that is doing a disservice to our teams. Because if we act like that, they're going to act like that. Just because you might be doing financially well, like, I always say this, if I can help 20 more people lose 35 pounds, like what this did for me, I would love that. If I could help 20 more people make a 6-figure earning business just because I'm willing to ask them, I will. And so I never try to make it about me, but what is so cool is when people get in your corner too. And I just think it's important for my coaches to see that I'm putting it out there and I'm going, because guess what they're doing? They're putting it out there and they're going for it. And so I think that's what's important about rank, in my opinion, is just showing that we can do it.
Okay. I feel like we just need to drop the mic right there.
That was a great question.
My last thing, what would be your departing words for these ladies that are working hard in Q3, that have big goals, they want to build, strong communities, they want to show their team, what's possible type of thing. What would you say to them? Oh no, did she freeze? Okay. Come back to us.
Oh no.
Oh, you're back.
Working out?
It's working. Okay, talk.
Okay. Are some of you going for elite? Okay. This doesn't have to go for elite, but if it does, you are going to be like, I can do it. And then the next week, you're going to be like, I can't. And when I first went for elite, it was a week before qualification in November, like the last cutoff date. And a week before that, I called my mentor and I said, we're not going to hit it. She's like, I'm not talking to you anymore. Like, you were going to hit this. We qualified that night. So it's so important that when we qualified that night, I swear to you, and I was like, we're not going to hit it. It is, I always tell my team who's going for elite, I just say, you cannot let that manifest in your heart, because elite is not 5-star, whatever your goal is, 6 figures, whatever, is not built off of logic. It is not, you cannot build those goals based on what you currently have. Because if you did, you wouldn't be like, we're never going to make it. Like, we're never going to make it. You have to think like, no. Like, you have to get creative. Like, for us, we'll do like some kind of cool push, like diamond push. We'll do an emerald push. Like, we'll do these things and create this momentum that just takes massive action. And then so I guess that's my parting words to you, is you cannot build this off of logic. You have to build it off of belief and action taking, and you have to tell people about what you want. And I'm telling you, you're gonna be like, it's in. And then the next elite report comes out and you're like, this is never gonna, I'm telling you, so many people quit going for elite. I'm sure their numbers weren't that good, but they still had 4 more weeks left. I looked at that and I said, this is every reason we're going to hit it. I don't know how, but we're going to do it. And so for me, I built it off of belief. And I told my team that. I said, so many people have quit. That's not us. We still have 4 more weeks. They're like, we're in. And you cannot lead with your frustrations. You somehow do. You have to think about what you're grateful for. You have to think about why you love this. You have to think about the people you're working with and maybe the hardships that they're going in, and you have to work around it. And you just have to keep envisioning but supporting. I think when you lead your team as like this massive celebrations, the momentum happens on its own. But if you're just focusing on like, this is what we need, like hit success club, like blah, 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 all that stuff, like it kind of gets overwhelming. But I think if you just are like, so-and-so made this amazing post on social media, like so-and-so just lost 5 pounds. Like if you just like keep doing that, it just brews this belief in the team that they can do anything.
Ooh, that's good. Okay. I love it. Thank you so much for your time, Julianne. I loved everything that you said. I love that, you know, your whole speech about community and building community groups. I think that is beyond powerful. And I feel like that is something that we can take back at corporate and start sharing, because I think it is, I mean, that's what is going to create lifers.
I want to do a national wake-up call on it. Put in a good word.
Writing that down. Okay.
I've never spoken on one, but I would love to.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm excited for you ladies.
And thank you, ladies, for showing up today. Thank you for coming in an hour out of your day to be here with us. I hope you all have an amazing, amazing day, and I will see all of your gorgeous faces next week. Okay? Bye.